Now, we're going to be looking at study section 6. Study section 6, we're going to be talking about database. And we are going to use Microsoft Office Access 2016 as case study. We're going to be looking at Microsoft Office Access 2016. We're going to look at Access and Enterprise Database Management System. We're going to be looking at Access. That's when we talk about Access here, we're referring to Microsoft Office Access as a web development tool, and then Microsoft Office Access as a database application. Now, database. What is a database? A database is an organized collection of structured information or data, typically stored electronically in a computer system. Now, database, we say, is or can be simply defined as structured set of data held in a computer, especially one that is accessible in various ways. Database is nothing but a structured way, an organized format of storing your information or data. When you collect data from people, say you give people a manual form, a paper form to fill, and you collect your paper form or your paper questionnaires, and you sit down, you want to have a proper record of your collection. Let's say in your classroom, your classroom can give a form to everyone to fill, manual form to fill, and at the end of the day, he collects this form, and if he is looking for how to get these things stored, structure it in a system, what he needs is a database software, because the database software will enable you to structure this data in a way that you can easily access it or fetch data back from it. This is what we use in a banking system. The database is very crucial because you use it in banking systems, you use it in government offices for data collection and data retrievals. It helps you to, for instance, pick out a transaction that was done 10 years ago within a space of 2 minutes. All you need to do is to insert the date, insert something that will make reference to that particular transaction, and it pulls up the entire data. Now, when you are on your phone, on your WhatsApp app, for instance, you want to browse out a conversation you had with someone in the time past about, say, the word database. All you need to do is click on that search header on your WhatsApp and type database. All the people you talk the word, you discuss the word database with the chart will appear. You now begin to select which one it is. It is a proper database collection exercise. It helps you to store something and fetch it whenever you need it. Now, we say the database software is used to create, edit, and maintain database files and records, enabling easier file and record creation, data entry, data editing, updating, and reporting. The software can also handle data storage, backup, and reporting, multi-access controls, and security. These are the things that a database software can do for you. The most important thing it does is to collect data, enable you to edit that data, and also store that data for you with adequate security. These are the basic things a database software should do for you. Examples of this database software we have, what we are going to be making reference to very soon: the Microsoft Office Access, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, IBM DB2, and so on and so forth. Now, the Microsoft Office Access. We say Microsoft Office Access is a database management program in the Microsoft Office suite of applications for the management of database. In MS Access, Data refers to information that is usually in the form of text or numbers, and the information is stored in a table. Microsoft Access is designed to enter, edit, analyze the data in a database. Queries are used to extract information from the table based on search criteria. You can use a form on a user-friendly method of viewing, entering, or modifying data. Access can also generate reports such as quarterly sales by each employee based on the data in the database. So you find out that database is a beautiful thing to use, is a beautiful software to use if you are after information storage and retrieval at every given point in time, and adequate report giving. Now, we're going to talk about Access, Microsoft Access, and enterprise database management. We say while Access is a powerful database application, it is important to keep in mind that it is intended to be used as a desktop application. It's a desktop application. While it can handle many data management tasks, it cannot handle more complex tasks. These operations should be managed using two sets found in enterprise. In the enterprise database management system, we have an example of it, which is a Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle, Microsoft Oracle. Typically, you will choose Access over enterprise solution because Access is more user-friendly and is commonly used in smaller organizations. Now, the enterprise database management system are referred to as, an organizational customized database kind of softwares that people use. But this Microsoft Access is way more important, way more accommodative, because one, a Microsoft Office Access enables you as a user or an organization to have limitless data fetch. It has a wider range. At the end of the day, you find out that even banks, even big organizations you can mention that you are sure we have a large bucket of database. At the end of the day, they find a way to use what we call the OLE object to tie OLE function to tie around a Microsoft Access for the purpose of expanding a base where they will have or accommodate enough data, meaning that Microsoft Access is the best and accommodates more data. Another benefit that Access offers over enterprise solution is that it does not require nearly as large investments in infrastructure that other enterprise software or products will demand of you. All you need to do is to purchase the CD, install it on any computer of your choice, and you're good to go. Unlike these that we warrant you to start paying somebody a huge amount of money to be able to collect data of simple kinds. Now, Microsoft Office Access as a web development tool. An often looked over feature of Access is that it can be used as a web development tool. Using Access, you are able to publish data directly to web and even develop a web service application that can pull data from a database when requested or called upon. Additionally, Access 2016 has the ability to publish data directly to SharePoint servers. SharePoint server is a commonly used content management internet platform that most organizations use. So we find out that Microsoft Access on its own also has the ability to upload database to servers online, but people most cases don't make use of these features. Now, Access database objects. Now we have different objects that we can make use of in a Microsoft Access, in the Microsoft Office Access. But there are 5 major objects we're going to be talking about in this course. We're going to be talking about tables, queries, forms, reports, and macros. Now, tables, this is a form. It's a tabular form. It's a kind of a tabular arrangement where you enter data in each cell of the table. A table is a grid structure composed of rows and columns, unlike columns in spreadsheets. Fields have specified properties assigned to them and refer to specific type of data that can be placed in the cell under each field name. Now, in Excel, we refer to the intersection of row and column as cells, or here we refer to them as data field. Now, every data field, every column in Access, Microsoft Access, has a particular kind of data that enters it. If you have a column, a column should be, for instance, basically only for names or text. If it's names, for instance, it has to be just text. If it is date of birth, then you know that particular column is just numbers. So there is what we call data type for every single field on a database form or table, as the case was discussing is. So every column has its own data type. So we'll talk about the different data type we have in Microsoft Words and Microsoft Access soon. Then we talk about query. A query is a question asked of the database. Okay, hence database query is a request to access data from a database to manipulate it or to retrieve it. Microsoft Access 2016 defines 7 types of queries. Now, queries is nothing but when you call up a particular range or a selected range of a particular database. Say, for instance, we have the database of this class. You can, raise a query of all the females in this class. You can raise a queries of all the 16 years and above in this class. You can throw a query for all the all those that have done well in the assignment or have scored above 20 or below 20, as the case may be, for the purpose of editing their data, updating their data, or printing. For instance, we have different types of queries. Now we have the select query, we have the action query, we have the predefined action query, and so on and so forth. Now, in the action query mostly is where you do the editing. For you to carry out any query, you have to first of all carry out the select query. Now, when you do the select query, you now carry out actions on the query. The action differs. It's either you're deleting a particular data, or you're editing it, or you're doing one thing on it. There must be something that warrants you to carry out a query. Then we have a form. A form is a database object that you can use to enter, edit, or display data from a table or a query. Then we have reports. You can generate reports in Access. It's one of the basic features of every database to be able to create, to have reports or to generate reports. So reports gather and format database information for printing, for sharing, for sending. You can download a report and mail to someone. You can, generate a report and print it out. So we have the macros. Macros are ways to automate a repetitive procedure or to simplify the running of several procedures in succession. However, there are some security concerns when building macros. Therefore, by default, macros in a database are deactivated and must be enabled in order to function. So if you want to use a macro is basically nothing but when you automate the reaction. You want a particular data, maybe you want at the end of a specific point in time, let this same action that was carried on this data be carried out again. So sometimes you would want to be in control of your data. You will want some actions to be carried out without your knowledge, by the computer automatically. So that is why it is said here that macros is by default always turned off in a computer, in every access application. So if you need it, you specify what the macros will be, the actions that you need to be repeated. Then you name it and save it to that particular file, and it carries it out. Then the access file, all the objects of one database are stored in one file. This is talking about saving or outputting a database now. All databases are stored in file extensions of .accdb or Microsoft Access file. Every output you make. We've talked about Microsoft Word. We've talked about Microsoft Excel. We've talked about presentations. Now we're talking about Access. In Microsoft Word, if you look at file extension of the document that is created using Microsoft Word, it is saved in an extension of .docx. Now, in Excel, it is saved as with an extension of .xls. Now, in PowerPoint, it is saved as ppts. Now, in Excel, in Access now, it's saved as .accdb. These are file extensions. We call them file extensions. Every file has an extension. The music file in your phone, if you can click on it and go to details, it's an example of file extension. Go to the details of that music file. You will see that music file has a name. It could be, let's say the name of the song is Roses. You will see roses.mp3. The .mp3 there is the file extension of that music file. For as an example, that will help you understand it better. Then we talk about data type. Now, when defining a new field, you need to set the data type of the kind of data type that new field will carry. Just like we explained earlier, that every field has its own data type or should have its own data type. So we have different kind of data types that every field must carry. We have text, long text, numbers, date and time, currency, automatic numbering, yes or no. We call it a Boolean function. We have the ODL objects. We have the hyperlinks. We have attachments where you can attach documents. Then we have what we call the primary key in a database, especially in Microsoft Access. In Access, the primary key is used to give each record a unique identifier, usually a number. The auto number field is typically used for primary key assignments to ensure that two records cannot accidentally have the same number. Now, a primary key helps you to, easily fetch. It helps in queries a lot. It helps in report generations a lot, because it is with your primary key that you can easily identify or single out a particular data you're looking for. An example of a primary key is if a database of this class should be created, the advised primary key should be your reg number, because your reg number is one thing that is unique to you. Even if you are 1 million in this class, your reg number is very unique to the whole of the entire 1 million. Because your your reg number is unique to you, so it will fit in best as a primary key for the database of this class. So when we're looking for you, all we need to do, when we need to see data, a database of you, all we need to do is to enter your reg number, and a form will be generated where we will see your passport, your full name, your date of birth, your state of origin, your results,